business talk. So last time we talked about our current business. So now let's talk about our very first business. So the very first business that I did, that was in high school. I had a web design business. I built websites for businesses and also schools. And that was a pretty fun little business. It actually paid well then, building websites. You could build a website for $3,000. And now today, they've got all these pre-made templates, and you can sign up for a $99 a year subscription. And you don't really need anybody to build your website. They have templates. You just go in and plug your information in, choose whichever design you like, etc. So, anyways, after that business, I owned a ground maintenance business. This is while I was still in high school. So I mowed lawns out of a pickup truck. And I'm not talking about one or two lawns. We had a lot of lawns that I mowed. Really didn't get too much help. I did it all myself. My dad actually helped me too do some of these, but couldn't get any friends or anybody to help because they didn't want to work. So how about that? The ground maintenance business, that business was kept all the way up to 2024, and that was probably one of the most profitable businesses I ever did. I mean, you can mow lawns and make 30 grand in just the summertime, and I'm just talking about in a 2-month period. 2-3 month period, something like that. As a young person, it doesn't require a lot of skill. You just need tools and a vehicle. And as time goes on, we progress to a trailer, 2 trailers, or a cargo trailer, another truck just for mowing only. Like I said, that was very profitable business. Again, when we started out, you had the old riding mowers with the wheel, which didn't make mowing very convenient. And when the zero turn starts to become more popular, or should I say more affordable, I end up buying a zero turn, and then end up buying 2 more zero turns. And those things lasted, they were cut to death. Those things lasted, forever. Never had any issues with it unless employees did something to it. But we would mow all kind of places. We mowed banks. And again, starting out, we did residential, but we mowed commercial properties, factories, churches. We pretty much mowed it all. We then got out of the residential space because it just wasn't profitable. Previously, you're mowing residential lawns at $45+, and then you have somebody come up with a Honda Civic with a lawnmower stuck in the back of the trunk, and they tell the owner, "Hey, I can mow it for $30. And you had some owners that, they just wasn't too loyal. They just wanted to save money. And they'd hire those guys to mow their lawn one time. They didn't do a very good job, and they're calling you back. And you say, "I'm sorry, my schedule is full. I can't come back. I just can't do it." You wanted to get that other guy or person to do it and save $15 or whatever it was. And now this is where it got you. A month passed. You ride by, the lawn is still long, and they're calling you back and they say, "Hey, I can't get anybody to mow my lawn." Well, yeah, because everybody's busy. And the last guy that gave us an estimate, he told me 55. Well, yeah, because that's what it's worth. 55, 75. Those prices go up. A lot of these guys with all this high-end equipment, they're charging. They got to pay for that stuff. It's not free. So that was that business. Really enjoyed that business. That was really enjoyable. I had some medical issues at some point in life, around 2014, and started to not be able to be in the sun as much. But I kept doing it all the way up to 2024. I did some in 2025 as well, but again, a lot of the workers that we had, they were doing the work. I didn't do too much, but I love being outside. I can't sit still. I just can't do it. And I love being outside and mowing, but then my hands are cramping up. And I mean, it's just years and years of holding weed eaters and all the vibrations and picking up trailers. I did some silly stuff when I was younger, picking up trailers with my hand to move it on top of a hitch or to move the trailer around. And, I thought I was Superman, but eventually this stuff catches up with you, jumping over trailers and all this other stuff. But, I really enjoyed it. I mean, you're talking about not to brag on yourself, but man, I was a mowing fool and a weed eating fool. I love to weed eat. I'd rather weed eat than use the zero turn or mower. And ever since day one, the goal was, hey, we've got to mow as many properties as possible to be profitable. So when I weed eat, I run. I'm not walking. I'm not taking breaks. We don't break. So if you come to work with me, there's no break. This is not Walmart or Kroger or some of these other places, or you see these line guys, they're sitting up underneath a shade tree with their hat across their face and taking an hour nap. No, we don't do none of that. You come work for my business, we don't take breaks, we work, and that's your call. You can either come work for us or you don't. It don't make a difference to me, because I'm here one way or the other, working, making money, take care of my family to buy the things that I need to buy. So, very enjoyable. My dad, he ran with me for a while and did the same thing. I mean, we don't break. We just keep going, and that's just how it works. So, and then the young guys that work for me, they mow a acre, and they're breaking, or I got to stop by the store and all this other stuff, and tired, and can I finish tomorrow? And I've never seen anything like it. And I don't know. I know everybody's not built the same, but you go to work, we'd leave early. And I got all this stuff from my grandfather. My grandfather was the same way. He was a workaholic. And, he got up at the crack of dawn. He was home by noon. And, of course, that was a long time ago. I mean, you want to talk about the late 90s, the early 2000s, where, you can make $100 by noon. On your own, that wasn't too bad. And that was always kind of his goal. So as I got older, that was kind of my goal. I needed to make a certain amount before noon. I'm done mowing by noon. So before the hottest part of the day comes, I'm done. And, I'm home, I've showered, and I'm on to the next venture, going to meetings, etc. And you're riding around and you see these guys just starting for the day. These younger guys just starting for the day. They've got their breakfast, and it's 11 and noon. What are you doing? And they're mowing all the way to 5. And in the summertime, I don't know if you know Texas weather, but I mean, it gets hot at 11 a.m. And I mean, by 5, I mean, I'm telling you, 2 o'clock is probably the hardest. 2, 3 o'clock is the hottest part of the day, and I wasn't going to do it. Now, was there some days where that had to happen? Yes, there was some days that I had to mow later, just depending on what else was going on. But that was pretty good business. Probably the most we ever mowed was 5 acres, other than mowing a new development, like a new community where they're building new houses, so you have to mow all the lots, keep those cleaned up for the city to come and start fining you. But we did movie theaters, storage facilities. I mean, we did all kind of stuff. And I'm just, if there's anybody out there that's looking for a business to start, there's working the regular 9 to 5, and they need to make money, go mow lawns, because not everybody would do that. And if you can have the mindset of getting up early in the morning, I mean, I'm telling you, you can make some serious cash. But be ready, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So anyways, that's the ground maintenance business. One other thing, we did flower beds. We did a few landscape projects. Matter of fact, I played around with CAD. You know, there were some new homes, and I didn't go to school for that, but I mean, I was motivated to do as much as I can. But what I did, I taught myself how to use CAD. I did landscape drawings and plans for new homes, some businesses. I mean, you know, we did it all, and that was the goal. We were motivated. I was motivated. I had a family to take care of, and I needed to do whatever I needed to do. And then at the end of the day, I enjoyed it. That was the most important part. All of my businesses that I've done, I've absolutely enjoyed, and that was really the motivator to keep going. Was just the excitement of it. As we kind of got bigger and start doing more things, when you start hiring employees, my enjoyment kind of leveled off some, because employees, they start tearing up stuff. They don't treat your equipment like you do, and you have to replace things. So you kind of get disappointed there. But anyways, that's it. That was the adventures of the ground maintenance and web design business. And stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can see new videos.